everyone. So let's start with something very simple and something that's easily doable, I'd say. If you guys were to walk down a street for 5 minutes and pay attention to everything from the cracks on the pavement, the uneven vines, the fading paint on houses or on the roads, you'd notice how imperfect everything is. And yet, it all exists. And it belongs. It belongs to this world for what it is. And somehow, it creates this quiet, personal kind of beauty that surrounds us. So, we accept that kind of imperfection so easily in this world because we see it every day. But when it comes to ourselves, that's where it begins to change. That's where we start feeling disappointment and even hatred. And that's where we begin to neglect our own kind of humanity. So I've been thinking about how this tends to happen more when we're surrounded by things that feel perfect. These are people, achievements, and expectations that we ourselves have. And so it creates this kind of pressure that slowly pushes our authenticity down. And unlearning that, it's quite hard. It's hard to truly understand what it means to be human, to accept that perfection isn't necessarily something that we'll ever reach, not physically, not mentally, or emotionally. And there will always be flaws, immaturity, and many parts of ourselves that we don't like and probably won't ever like. I also think that that's where things actually begin, and that's where the unlearning actually starts. Because for me, one way is really through real conversations. And these aren't just the surface level ones that we have with other people, it's not the small talks, but it's the kind where you actually try to understand someone, how they think, how they deal with their own flaws, and what they struggle with internally. And when you see things from their perspective, you realize that they're figuring things out as well. And they're trying to go on this road with the same level of confusion and the same level of disappointment, just like ourselves. And so it's quite evident that they're not perfect and that they're just human. And if we can extend that understanding to others, if we can accept them for their flaws, for their imperfections, why can't we give that same respect to ourselves? So, another way is in really learning the difference between what I, as an individual, truly value and what I've just absorbed from other people. What do I love versus what I think I should love? Because being honest about that helps separate what's actually mine from what isn't. And sometimes it writing it down makes that distinction clear because it really forces you to confront what you genuinely believe in versus what you've just learned to believe in, if that makes sense. And the last way to this unlearning process is really in silence. And so a lot of people see silence as something that's negative, like nothing's happening, like it's complete darkness and you feel that you're stuck. But I've started to see it as something different. Silence is where you get to look back, not to regret things, but to understand. Yes, you will see many, many mistakes, flaws, and things that you wish were different. And to be honest, that won't go away. But if you stop focusing only on the negative, you might start seeing something else. And these are the lessons, these are the signals and reminders that tell you to slow down, to stop, and to really reflect on what makes you you. what makes your imperfections so important to become a different version of you. Like, for example, when the day feels overwhelming, instead of just seeing it as failure or exhaustion, maybe it's telling you to step back, to rest. Because what's the point of being productive if you can't even show up for yourself? So, again, perfection isn't something you just let go of overnight. It's deeply ingrained in our minds. And the truth is, it doesn't exist. And it never will, no matter how much we try to go for it. But maybe that's the point. Maybe there's something real in the way that we mess up our words, the way we stutter, the way we trip over small things, the way we overthink something so insignificant in our lives, the way we fail people and continue to fail people, even the ones that we love most. It's the way we get stuck in a question, the way we lose our confidence, the way we pretend that we're learning, but we keep on making the same mistakes again and again. That's not something to erase. That's something to understand. Because it will happen again. So the question isn't how to avoid it completely. It's more of, what do we do differently next time? How do we unlearn so that we can learn again, but this time a little more honestly?